Lethal Company is a game where you run around in slop suits collecting trash, while various locals try and kill you, but it's all worth it when you get that sweet, sweet paycheck from a potentially evil boss. Wait, this is just Salmon Run. Honestly, the game isn't super in-depth. The premise is very simple. You show up at a place, you head to a facility, you snag some goodies, and you haul them back to the ship. Bada bing, bada boom, super simple and easy. Except, of course, inside the facility are the creator's brand of SCP Fluffy Wuffy Scrimblow horrors, designed to make sure that the company you keep is in fact a lethal one. These silly little creatures can range from turrets to slime to jack-in-the-boxes that unleash a horror demon that will kill anyone and everyone inside the facility. What was that noise? Well, the only logical thing to do is check it out. Oh! Controls are basic too. WASD moves, left mouse button can use things, right mouse button can scan things, E interacts, and for some reason, instead of having 1, 2, 3, and 4 be hotkeys for your inventory, you have 1 tied to dancing and 2 tied to pointing. Priorities. You can only hold 4 objects, but certain items require both hands, such as— oh, bottles! Of course I find the alcohol first. Paintings or lamps? I can literally see you only using 1 hand. You can sort of bypass this by dropping the 2-handed objects to pick up the smaller ones first and then capping with the 2-handed, but it's impossible to carry 2 2-handeds at once. Most of this game is just sort of figuring stuff out. It kind of just throws you into the deep end off the bat, which honestly I love in games. You got a little clipboard that gives you the basics, but how foes work, what does what, and which one of your teammates is going to be the cowardly babu sitting in the van failing to open doors and locate items under the guise of scouting because they were too scared to actually go into the building and play the game. The locales are dark and you can buy a flashlight if you're scared, but that's coming out of your paycheck. Speaking of, the gameplay loop is split into 3 trips per quota, and each quota gets higher and higher. There are always places you can land for free, but the bigger maps require a fee to access, but of course have much bigger rewards, which of course means more baddies. Son of a b- You can technically sell all your scraps whenever, but on the first few days they're bought at a lower rate, compared to the final day buying them at full price. However, if at any point everyone dies, everything on the ship is lost. So if you were hoarding, you were back to 0. So it's an easy way to determine who is skilled and who's just cocky. It's possible to buy other pieces of equipment or even just decorations for your ship. One of the best options, of course, being Funny Teleporter. This will teleport people inside the facility at a random location, and it is very possible to be teleported behind a locked door so you can wind up soft-locked. Now, as mentioned earlier, it is possible to have a coward back at the ship. If you have purchased walkie-talkies, you can communicate, and the scouter can guide you through the facility and to scraps, which are visualized on the radar as green Doritos. Using the console, they also have the potential to open and close doors or even disable turrets. The funny part is that they aren't even completely safe, since the worlds took a page out of the old Minecraft book and after sundown, mean old meanies spawn outside as well. So they can be barking orders at you and then get a lovely little taste of irony. Admittedly, I could go more in depth to this, but I've kind of given away too much already. A lot of the fun is just kind of the learning curve. The comedic timing of this game is just unmatched, and it's most likely a big reason why it rocketed in popularity, because it really is just a clip farm of perfect timings. Dinner time! Normally, I don't tend to cover Flavor of the Month games, but this one I actually think is really fun, and I kind of hope that it sticks around longer. Like, I'm writing this while I'm going to Vegas for the next 2 weeks, so this is already going to be a week after it's kind of at peak. And this is the kicker, it's only fun if you have friends. Yes, unfortunately, it's one of the games which has its fun determined by the lethal company it keeps. Sure, there are options to play with randoms, but I can't envision a lot of the sillies that occur will have the same impact as if they were happening to one of your buds. The game is currently in early access, so who knows what might change as time goes on. Maybe they'll add a single player mode or something. I mean, technically you can play by yourself, I just don't think it will be as enjoyable. It is nice to see that the game already has a pretty nice modding scene, allowing some quality of life stuff or even bigger lobbies, since normally you can only play with 4 players total. My hope is that the dev takes the support and puts it back into the game immediately. A lot of Flavor of the Month games get a spotlight and then they just start adding corporations on Twitter begging for sponsors. Yes, Fall Guys, I am still mad at you for taking so long to add new maps and modes, you